I'm gonna go over my Fluffal branded deck profile. Now, Fluffals have been one of my favorite archetypes for a long time, but unfortunately they just haven't been competitive enough to keep up with the rest of the meta. But I really think because of this branded fusion card that this deck got a huge power pump. Um, what's really great about branded fusion is it can actually help you mill Fluffal wings or Edge Imp sabers to the graveyard. And if you have like a brand diffusion and a Fluffal bear in your hand, you can brand diffusion to summon a dragoon or the mirror jade, and then you can basically mill your wings to the graveyard, so you can do your wings combo. This deck just draws a lot. There's so many different little draw combos. You have Fluffal wings, you have Fluffal dolphin, you have the souls, you have the package for the branded that mills stuff, you also have the guardian chimera, so you're kind of just like powering through your deck, and normal turns you draw like 20 cards or so, which is pretty crazy. So let's start with the main deck. 3 Fluffal dogs, because Fluffal dog is your searcher. He just on normal searches any Fluffal card from your deck. And that's why he's 3 of. Fluffal penguin. Fluffal penguin is insane. It's not once per turn that when it's on the field you can supposed to summon a Fluffal from your hand. That is kind of the basic bread and butter combo of the deck, where you will have a toy vendor in your graveyard through Foolish Burial Goods or some way. You'll normal summon penguin. Penguin effect will supposed to summon dolphin. Dolphin will set the toy vendor and then mill the wings to your graveyard, and then you'll overlay for a Bahamut shark and go for a toad before you get to do anything. So it's you get a negate before 5 summons, and then you kind of just get the pop off. The other effect of penguin is when it's fusion, you get to draw 2, discard 1, which again helps you cycle your deck. I run 2 dolphin. Dolphin is kind of the key combo of the deck, plus it's part of that water combo. Its effect is you can set 1 toy vendor from your grave to the field and then mill 1 Fluffal monster or Edge Imp sabers from your deck to the graveyard. When you're drolled, this is really nice to send the Edge Imp sabers, so that way you can continue your combo, go to Verde Anaconda and then go Mirror Jade. Its other effect is when it's used as fusion summon material, you can put 1 fusion back from your graveyard to your deck. Now, Fluffal Penguin is generic whenever it's used as fusion material, so you can use it off Chimera. Dolphin Penguin is specifically when it's used for a Frightfur monster. So there's a couple Fluffal cards that are like generic fusers that are good for making Chimera. You have 3 bear. I upped the ratio of bear just because if you have brand diffusion and bear, you can mill the wings and then you can use the bear to get the toy vendor and then draw 2. I also now run 1 Fluffal Owl. Fluffal Owl is a good normal summon sometimes, just so you can get your poly and then fusion with stuff from your hand so you can go Chimera. It also has the effect, you can use one of the effects once per turn. You pay 500 and you get diffusion for a Frightfur monster. So when you're out of polys, it's kind of nice to have. You have sheep, it's a very special. 2 wings. I have 1 cat. Cat is my new addition, and I never used to run cat, but cat is when he uses generic as fusion material, you get the poly back. So you can fusion for Chimera using cat, and then you can draw 2, and then you have your fusion back in your hand. Octopus. In this deck, Octopus has a lot of uses. Octopus, when you normal or special him, he puts a Fluffal or Edge Imp from your grave back to your hand, so he can give you chains back on the following turn to like continue off with your combos. He can give you Penguin. He can give you Edge Imp Scythe. There's so many cards that he can give you. Now, what's really a cool combo with him is if you have Albion the Branded Dragon, and you make Albion the Branded Dragon and use his effect to fusion, and you banish him and Alistair. If you actually use like in a specific combo in the deck, they'll be banished, right? Now, Octopus, when it's used as fusion material, it can put 2 cards that are banished back into the graveyard. So you can put Albion and you can put Albaz back to the graveyard, and you have your Mirror Jade. And then at end phase, Albion will activate and give you your branded fusion, or your branded in red to the field. 3 Edgem Chains. When it's sent to the graveyard from hand or field, it gets you a Frightfur card. 2 Sabers. Quick play fusion spell from your hand during your opponent's main phase. Another cool effect this has is when a fusion Frightfur card will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish him instead. And then we have 1 Saber. Sabers is if you have it in your grave, you can put a card from your hand to the top of your deck as cost and special it, and it doesn't banish, so it's there forever. Moving on to the spells. Patchwork gets you a poly and an edge-jump. 2 polys. Frightfur Repair. Frightfur Repair is basically a monster reborn. It puts a fusion card from your grave back to your extra deck, and then specials 1 from your hand. Specials 1 from your graveyard, or if it's in your graveyard, you can banish it and special a Fluffal or Edgem from your hand. This is a card that could be milled off of Cruel Whale. That way, it's kind of a little extension piece. So your combo is you're fusioning for Cruel Whale, getting the draw 2 with the Penguin, and then you mill the repair. That way, you can get another summon. Then Frightfur Fusion. I was thinking about 2, but 1 for now. 1 Frightfur Fusion, it's just invocation, but there are like going first combos that you can do with Frightfur Fusion that are pretty nice. Since you rely on the branded fusion in this deck, you don't actually need 2 Frightfur Fusions, since the deck has strong options in the branded fusion monsters. 3 Foolish Burial Goods. Mills a spell, mostly Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor, not once per turn on any of the effects. It's off once. When it's sent to the graveyard, anyway, you get to search a Fluffal card or an Edgem Sabers. This other effect is discard a card as cost, draw 1 card, and if it's a Fluffal, special summon it. That is basically the entire Fluffal engine. A lot of cards. This deck doesn't really run hand traps because going first, it can get through so many hand traps. And then it has a really strong going second board with the brand of fusion and with all the Fluffal cards. So you can put hand traps in here if you're trying to make this like super like competitive. I think the only thing that I would do is if I was going second, just Droplets in the side deck, because Droplets is so crazy with Toy Vendor. But I just made this deck, so I'm still kind of experimenting with what is good. I run 1 Illusion and 1 Souls just because there are so many cards to discard. You have Toy Vendors to discard. Another great thing to discard is when you go into the XE route, you're locked out of using Branded Fusion. But you don't need a Branded Fusion all the time. Branded Fusion is great off Predator Planet. It's also great if you have it opening hand to start your combos, because you can be locked into fusions in this deck. But if you actually go the XE route and the Link route to go the Appaloosa, then you could toss the extra Branded Fusions just to be drawing cards. Then I run 1 Albaz, and then the 1 card that I run is King of the Swamp. Everyone else runs the other little light guy, but for this deck, King of the Swamp actually could discard himself to get a poly. So sometimes when I'm doing Fluffal combos and it's kind of nice to get a poly, or I want to make Chimera, a King of the Swamp, if I have it in my hands, is a poly, which is nice. Then the last 3 cards of my main deck. 3 Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion, you get to mill cards from your deck or field to the graveyard to fusion summon 1 card that lists Albaz on it from your extra deck. So the cards that you're going to be summoning are the Searing Dragon or the Branded Dragon. And now the either of these can also make Dragoon, which is in your extra deck, by sending the King of the Swamp to the graveyard. But what's nice about these is it can mill any light monster or any dark monster in your any dark monster or any light monster in your entire deck. So going for Albion the Branded Fusion and milling Fluffal Wings to your graveyard, and then going into a Dragoon, and then after you're safely under Dragoon, then you can Fluffal Wings, because then you'll use Bear to set the Toy Vendor, and then Wings banish Bear in itself to draw 2, pop 1, search 1. So it gets pretty out of hand with the drawing. And then the 1 Branded in red. Branded in red, you can set it off the Albion. And then it's just really nice because you can fusion for, what is it, 1 level 8 or higher fusion monster. So you can go for a Chimera, you can go for a Cruel Whale. So it's pretty nice. So for the Frightfur cards of the deck, I run a very, very tiny package. 1 Sabertooth because he's just really, really good for combos and for killing. 1 Kraken. I was considering putting the vampire guy in, and I really like the vampire guy, but I don't think in this deck he's good enough. The XC level 8. 1 Tiger, and then 2 Cruel Whales. I want to run a Wolf, but there's just not enough room in the deck, and I've been playtesting this a while. That's kind of all you really need. For the Albaz people, you go 1 Albion, 1 Lubellion, and then you get 1 of these Mirror Jade guys. Mirror Jade is kind of absolutely insane and out of his mind with how broken he is. He's kind of as a banish, and then if you use him on your opponent's turn, or like any turn, you send the Albion to the grave, and then on the end phase, the Albion will search you branded in red. I've still been kind of thinking about what other branded cards I want in this deck. This is kind of a pure Fluffal deck with branded, so I'm not running the special summon branded openings with the Lubers. Maybe I was thinking making like a bigger deck, like maybe a 60 card deck with small rolls and things like that. That way I can run some hand traps and I can run the openings, but for this condensed like Fluffal oriented list of like branded Fluffals, I just think this is all I just want, just the 3. What's really nice as well is you have the Cross Sheep in the deck. So when you fusion on your opponent's turn for like the branded dragon or for Searing Dragon, things like that, under Cross Sheep can special summon the Albaz, and then Albaz can super poly with your opponent. So you'll go Cross Sheep, doing your normal combo, you'll summon for Cruel Whale. Cruel Whale effect will pop 1, Cross Sheep will summon. Then you'll summon out Albaz, and Albaz effect will, on special summon, will super poly. And then you'll go Searing Dragon, and depending on how you set up your graveyard, you can go Mirror Jade if you don't have Mirror Jade out already, or if you have the Swamp King in your graveyard, you can go Dragoon, which is the next card in my extra deck. The Dragoon. I just like Dragoon because it's just a negate. If you open Branded Fusion and like a Fluffal Bear, it's a negate before you even do anything, and then you get to do Fluffal Wings to draw, carry out your turn that way. I have the 1 Guardian Chimera. And then for my fusion pack, my link package, I have 1 Appaloosa, 1 Cross Sheep, and then I also have the Predaplant. It's just not on me right now, but that's in my deck. This deck, it's really, really easy to go Cross Sheep and then continue your combos, get like a 3 or 4 negate Appaloosa, and then go Mirror Jade. The end board that you kind of normally end on is like a 2 negate Appaloosa with a Mirror Jade and a Totally Awesome with a fusion in your hand to go for a Cruel Whale. That's like the normal combo. Sometimes you get 4 negate Appaloosas. Sometimes you can't get an Appaloosa at all. So it kind of depends on like how you're cycling through your deck. But the neutral board is like a 2 negate Appaloosa with a pop from your hand with a banish on the field and a Toad. And then the last 2 cards is the Shark and the Totally Awesome. This is kind of like strictly mandatory for Fluffals. You literally have to play this. It's just your Omni before 5. The like kind of best Fluffal combo in the entire deck is you have the goods, and you have either a penguin or a dolphin in your hand. You just have the one of these with the goods. So it's like a 2-card combo, but it comes up, you toss the goods. It comes up in other ways too. You toss the Toy Vendor effect, will get you either dolphin or penguin because you want to have both in your hand with the toy in your graveyard. You'll normal dolphin effect is special. Now the beauty of this deck here is if they imperm dolphin and you can't get your imperm penguin, you can't get your dolphin out. In normal Fluffals you have to end. But ever since Guardian Chimera came out, you can Guardian Chimera right here. And if you have a Fluffal cat in your hand, then you can get the fusion back. But then you'll special the Dolphin. Dolphin, its effect will set the toy vendor from the graveyard to the field, and then it will mill a card from the deck. That way you can mill your Fluffal wings. Your Fluffal wings will be milled to the graveyard. You'll overlay 2 for Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark will detach the material. You're going to detach the Dolphin because you don't want to banish the Penguin. And then now that you're under Totally Awesome, you can banish the 2, pop the toy vendor, and then you get to draw 2 cards and then search 1 card. If you don't know what Fluffal Wings does, Fluffal Wings banishes itself its cost and targets a Fluffal in the grave. Then it banishes that Fluffal, draws a card, and then you could destroy a toy vendor and draw another card. Then on the resolution, toy vendor will search a card. So you get to draw 2 from your deck and then search 1 Fluffal or 1 Edgem Sabers. And then when you're drawing, you can draw it into... there's a bunch of extenders, Magician Souls, Keep Drawing, etc. like that. But then if you go Totally Awesome like this, if you draw the Brand Diffusion, the Brand Diffusion is dead, but that's why I have the Souls to toss it. Or you just keep the Brand Diffusion for next turn. It's not a terrible card, you just keep it for the follow-up. Because most of the time, if you get Totally Awesome like this and you get the toy vendor off, most of the time you're kind of going to the races and you're just finishing your combo. And then right here, you'll kind of special summon a card for Bahamut Shark. To link off with Bahamut Shark for a Cross Sheep. And then right here you have a Cross Sheep and you're Totally Awesome. You'll fusion, you get the Penguin back out. And what's important about not banishing the Penguin is after you do this combo and after you fuse for, I don't know, Chimera, or most of the time you're fusioning for Cruel Whale here. You'll fusion for Cruel Whale. And then Cruel Whale will mill the Frightfur repair so you can continue your combos. And then you'll special the Penguin from your graveyard. And now since Penguin's not once per turn, Penguin, if I can special another card from your hand. And then you can go these cards right here for a 3-negate Appaloosa. And then you still have the special from the grave, and you already special a card, so you'll banish the card, the special from the grave, you'll go into the Predaplant, and then you'll go Mirror Jade. So then your combo is an Appaloosa 3-negate, Totally Awesome with a Mirror Jade. And then depending on how your hand works out, you could have like the Edgem combo set up. But yeah, I think this deck synergizes extremely well together. I was play testing it versus Prank Kids and Swords Hole. It did pretty good versus both. It just had has a lot of gas to go through. But the end of it is it's just pretty fun. Drawing 20 cards is a good time. Okay, so thank you for watching. Maybe later I'll put out some combo videos for this deck. But that's it.